Welcome back guys to some more Medieval 2 Total War action as part of my 400 subscribers battle replay commentaries. This one will follow on from the one I did before, but I may put them in separate videos because I checked back on how long the other one was and it came out at about 50 minutes long, which is pretty long for a video, and if I dump this on top it's going to take a couple of hours, it's going to take an hour or so at least. So we're just going to do them in separate videos, but if you haven't watched this one or you've not seen the other one, you can watch this one, that's fine, but as I say, please check that one out. I won't spoil it for you, but it was a really good battle and you should definitely check it out. So we are, I'm joined again by Elite Legionarii and the Swedish Langschnitt for this one, and we have all decided to go as the Mongols because why not? They are a very interesting faction and are very cavalry focused. For this battle we were allowed a maximum of 8 cavalry, hence why we decided to bring the Mongols, because your 8-3 cav gives you access to 3 units of horse archers and still some melee cavalry left over to do some damage with. So I am deployed on this flank in a sort of rushing up formation, ready to just rush to the Swedes' right flank just to set up. I've got 3 units of these dismounted heavy lancers as an infantry corps, backed up by 4 units of the Mongol infantry, which are very capable in melee as well. And then on the flank I've got 2 units of dismounted heavy archers with some peasants to back them up and act as a screen. And then for cavalry, 2 units of Khan's Guard, 2 units of the Mongol light lancers, and then 3 units of the Mongol heavy archers with a general's bodyguard and a couple of Nafatoons, because you should always bring the Nafatoons as an Eastern faction. In fact, if you're not bringing the Nafatoons as an Eastern faction, you're not playing them right. I don't care what anyone says, it's not happening. You always have to bring them because you need that morale damage. So we are we're going to rush up and position alongside the Swedish Langschnitt, who has a similar sort of cavalry setup to me. 3 units of Mongol horse archers, 2 units of light lancers, and then 2 units of Khan's Guard and a general's bodyguard. So Swedes bring in the old heavy cav, and we must have convinced him to bring horse archers, because as I don't think they're Swedes as a thing, but he's decided to bring them in this battle, which is fantastic. Really appreciate Swedes bringing horse archers, even though they're probably not his favourite. And then he's got, I think he's got 4 or 5 of these Mongol infantry, 5 units should I say, of Mongol infantry, and then 4 units of the Mongol light lancers, which I don't know the difference between the heavy lancers and the light lancers. I don't really think there is any. I think the heavy might have slightly better stats, but they do cost more, so you know, it depends what you want to go for. And then Elite Legionarii bring a completely different army to us both. Elite is the odd one out this time, as usual. He's got, I think, is this 4 units of Mongol? Yeah, 4 units of Mongol infantry, 2 or 3, 2 units of these dismounted archers. Still quite good, but you're cheap and they're not going to hold up too well in a missile fight, but they are cheap and quite good for bulking up missile forces. What's this? Dismounted light lancer with a couple more dismounted light lancers in support. 3 units of Nafatoons, and then he's got 3 units. No, 2 units of Khan's Guard and a Mongol heavy lancer, a general's bodyguard, and then is this his horse archer wing? Oh no, that's Swedes as still Swedes as cav. It's because we're all playing as Mongols, it's hard to deduce who's who. Yeah, it's got 2 units of Mongol light lancers over here, and then 2 of the Mongol horse archers. Again, going out on the flank, looking to get an angle on the these Sicilians and try and take them down. So the Sicilians are going to be played by K-Man Beast Delicious. I believe he was the new player that was... Yeah, K-Man Beast Delicious is going to be taking over from HC... the other guy, HC, the something Koala. I forget his name. I'm sorry. I just remember the koala bit. You know, leave me alone. So yeah, K-Man's going to be taking over from him, and he's playing as Sicily. Quite a nice Sicilian force. Again, really blobbed up. I can't really make out a lot of his units, but he's got tons of Pavis crossbowmen. He's got about 4 or 5 Pavis crossbowmen. 3 or 4 units of pipe militia, it looks like, and his infantry was Norman Knights, I think. He's got infantry there. Yeah, dismounted Norman Knights, probably about 3 or 4 units of Norman Knights. But he's put a lot of money into his cavalry. He's got some Norman Knights and Chivalric Knights, a nice mix of those. Yeah, just a mix of Norman Knights and Chivalric Knights, and he's upgraded these guys as well. I also love the Norman Knights. And then we've got the Pyramids being played by Sloveni. He is he's going to bring a similar army to us because he is the Pyramids, basically Mongol clones. Some dismounted heavy archers over here. A lot of dismounted heavy archers and Sabadar militia. For cavalry, he's going to be having the Khan's Guard, mix of Khan's Guard, Mongol heavy archers, which are going to be a pain in this battle. Some more Khan's Guard and some Mongol heavy archers. I think just a mix of Mongol heavy archers and Khan's Guard. Yeah. Practically no infantry. Yeah, no infantry from the Pyramids, just a lot of archers and cavalry, which is probably for the best. And then 4 units of Nafatoons. And then the last player on the enemy side is Dirt Biker again, bringing a ton of Pavis crossbowmen. He's got about 6 of them. Yeah, 6 Pavis crossbowmen in some form or another. He went very anti-cav here, which is okay for the Mongols, but the Mongols really don't have good cavalry anyway, ironically, so you don't have to fear them that much. Some feudal knights, some of these Papal Guard, which are expensive as well, so a bit of a dodgy pickup there. He's got about 4 units of those guys and 2 units of dismounted feudal knights. Again, the Mongols aren't really a cavalry threat unless you let the horse archers loose, so he doesn't have to worry too much about that. And then for his cavalry, he's got looks like a combination of Knights Hospitaller and 4 units of Knights Hospitaller, and then he's brought some of the mailed knights as well, 2 units of mailed knights and 2 generals bodyguards, the early and late period. So the mailed knights are going to be quite interesting. You hardly ever see the mailed knights online, except in really low money games, so that is going to be quite interesting. I think we can safely play this on 1 speed because it just turned, not to spoil anything, but it does turn into just a gigantic skirmish to start with. So we're just going to watch the armies move up. The Pyramids moving up rather aggressively to start skirmishing away. I again start to move to Swedes' flank, using his horse archers just to cover my advance, and then I'm going to push up rather aggressively to face the Papal States, and to try and sort of tie down the Pyramids as well, because if we can tie them both down, that will give Swedes a chance to support our attack against Sicily, which is currently going underway with some horse archer skirmishing from Elite. Already get some shots off against some of these pipe militia probably, and the Norman Knights. The pipe militia are really going to suffer against horse archers, so he needs to move those out of the way as soon as possible. And some fire coming in on Norman Knights. The Norman Knights also don't have very good armour, so they were quite a good tactic. quite a good target, should I say. But we've got some Mongol heavy horse archers coming in to support, and if you've not watched the Byzantine part, yeah, I won't spoil it, but as I said in that one, the horse archers are great at defending against other horse archers, so that's going to go down there. I believe I'm in position now. Swedes has sent his horse archers out wide, so he's going to try and take advantage of the Papal States. I am unloading on the focusing fire on some of these Pyramid archers. I want to help the Swedish actually get rid of these guys, because the Tyranids do not have any infantry other than these guys. So if we can break a hole in the Tyranids, we can just pour through and start to flank these guys quite easily. So my archers are going to focus fire over the heads of my infantry and really get some heavy shots off. My own horse archers are over here supporting Elite Legionary, should I say. It's been a long day. I've recorded this in the same day as I did my other one, but yeah, it's quite a few hours later. I've done a lot of other things in between. So we're going to try and push for these Sicilian cavalry, but the Mongol horse archers are just being a pain in the ass. You know, coming into melee and sort of driving us off, just being everything, just being in the way, which is what we didn't want them to be. Your horse archer is really good for getting in the way of other horse archers, especially these ones that are good in melee, because they are going to beat Elite's own horse archers in melee. So what these guys are doing is stopping us from getting to the Sicilian cavalry, and it was highly annoying, because we really don't want to waste our ammunition on these guys, because they're just going to do this sort of skirmish and be, you know, they're not the target we want. We want to reduce the heavy cavalry so that our own heavy cavalry has a chance. So I am going to send some fire in, and it is going to reduce them, but it's not enough. We need a decisive attack on some of these Norman knights, and it just isn't happening. Although he does impale some of his own cavalry on his pikemen there, which is always a risk. You never want to charge friendly cavalry through pikemen, because you end up impaling your own guys. So I do get some nice shots in here against the Shivit Knights, but these guys are heavily armoured, so it would have to, I would need a long time to do that. And all the while these Mongol horse archers can just wheel up, take the damage and dish out some more damage and then retreat back. So Sloveni yet again doing a really nice job with his troops. Really impressed with Sloveni in the last game, and certainly in this game he is showing his worth. Now I'm not sure what the idea of this battle was. Ideally we wouldn't skirmish this long with these guys, but we needed the decisive break on that flank, and it just was not happening. So I think, well, I was certainly stuck with what to do. I was sort of stood here just using up my ammunition and trying to be annoying, but against Pavi's crossbowmen it becomes really hard to actually skirmish, and these guys are going to be able to tank out all the damage that I put down, even with my 6 units of archers currently unloading on these guys. We're having more success with the dismounted heavy archers, but as I say, the Pavis crossbowmen, even though they are in a funky position here, but you know, the volume of fire that's going to come in is just going to be devastating, and we really need to save our ammunition for the heavier targets, the cavalry and some of these dismounted knights. So the Mongol horse archers have come out and routed one of my heavy horse archers, which is going to be concerning. We do have this one isolated, but horse archers isolated are not as bad. You know, this is what they do. They're sort of lone ranger type units that can, you know, that can act on their own accord, whereas heavy cavalry need to be supported, especially if they're being surrounded by horse archers. So there's a lot of dead bodies on the field, but a lot of them are the Mongol horse archers from both sides. We really needed them to be the heavy cavalry, which there are a few, but certainly not enough from the amount of horse archers we had on the field. And being an 8-3 cavalry game, that's the majority of our cavalry, whereas the enemy cavalry, these knights are still in relatively fresh condition. So it looks like Tyranids are coming forward with some of their heavy lancers, the Khan's Guard. Sloveni doing a nice job of weakening the enemy, weakening our infantry, and really pushing, just basically making things very uncomfortable. The problem is we didn't really command this game very well. We're currently being sort of pushed and shoved and really made to feel very uncomfortable, whereas it's us that should have been making the enemy feel uncomfortable. But they just made a very good job of using their lighter troops to skirmish with our own. And over here, the mailed knights have managed to pin down some of Elite's cavalry, and got some nice kills on them. They'll never really kill them, but if you can weaken them, tie them down, and get them into a position where the other units can strike them, it's going to be a hard fight for them. And the Norman Knights coming in and hitting all of Elite's archers, and this is bad. This is very bad, because Elite doesn't have anything here defending his archers, except a couple of units of cavalry, and the enemy just has more cavalry to throw. It's a very bloody, gritty fight. The Khan's Guard against Khan's Guard and Bodyguard. But Elite's flank is completely exposed, Elite's side, and we have to make a decision now, otherwise we're going to lose this battle very quickly. So I decide, if Elite is losing his side, we need to push on mine. The Papal States don't have the best morale, so I was hoping to get my Nafatoons in under some infantry support and just break through them. My spearmen are going to go around this side to basically block these knights and block all of the Tyranid cavalry from coming in this way. And then my archers are going to go this way and set up on the flank and start to unload some massive volleys into some of these infantry blocks. I need massed volume of fire coming down and weakening some of these positions, because I need to destroy the enemy cavalry so that my own cavalry is able to resist. I think twice about this attack. My infantry runs in and goes, nope. Infantry and shield wall, not a chance. Looks like some enemy cavalry did come out here, but my spearmen were able to resist and actually do some quite decent damage to them. But now we've got Sicilian cav, we've got Tyranid cav coming over. It's all a very desperate situation, and Dirt Bikers doing well just to pull back and just resist, hold out. I do manage to catch one of the general's bodyguard, and it's a shame I didn't kill the general. I was looking to sandwich him, but unfortunately it wasn't meant to be. And then there's some of the Swedish Langsnitz horse archers here in melee, trying to grind away at the Papal States cavalry. But as you can see, this flank is completely exposed. My infantry is now in a fight against quite a lot of cavalry, and it's going to get surrounded and defeated eventually. There is some mild Nafatoon fire coming in from these two units, hoping to destroy some of the morale, but there's just too much free cavalry on the field from the Papal States, and it's going to wreak havoc all the way along our line and really get into us and just cause some real pain for our troops, especially these exposed Nafatoons. We really need the Nafatoons to be firing. and then they just not. And now we've got Pyramid dismounted archers coming in, and it's turned into a bit of a mess. I do still have some cavalry about, but even with cavalry, there's just too much infantry on the field for my own cavalry to defeat them all.
We have bled the enemy badly. They have only half their men left.
And that was a good charge, but as I say, these charges are not going to be enough. There's too many units on the field, and I believe my general is probably dead at this point. He died over here fighting on this flank.
Our brash warlord has been slain.
Oh no, that's him. That's him dying. We've still got some cavalry from the Swedish Landsknecht coming in to try and drive off these Pyramid forces, but just the amount of forces that are still on the field by the opponents is going to be too much for our own troops. So yeah, I believe the best thing we could have done in this battle was actually go to the other flank. I think we would have had more luck attacking the Papal States than Sicily. Either way, these Mongol horse archers were going to be a pain in the ass. But if we sort of drew them onto one side of the battlefield and then I supported Swedes against the Papal States, I think we could have broken them a lot quicker and a lot more decisively than we did in this battle. But unfortunately, that's not how medieval goes, and we just chose the wrong fight. Picked the wrong fight, and it cost us very dearly. Look at all these cavalry bodies. That is a mess. Oh, Swedes is doing... Oh no, it's not Swedes, it's the incoming fire here. Doing some serious damage to his own men. Oh no, it is Swedes as Nafatunes over here. Swedes did really well in this battle actually. I'm pretty impressed with him. Him surviving this long and just doing this much damage. I think as soon as Elite's side broke, that was it. We had to maybe pull back on his side and I say push with mine. But as I say, we just picked the wrong engagement to take, and it cost us the entire battle. But it was very well played by these three. Very, very well played. Especially again by Sloveni, because he used his horse archers correctly to defend K-Man, and it proved to be very valuable. I mean, you can tell by the kills who really commanded this battle. So Elite Legionarii getting a couple of captures, 114, but again not getting too many kills. Me and the Swedish Landsknecht getting around about the same kills, but again it just wasn't enough in this battle. Dirt Biker did well to sort of keep us pinned whilst we tried to engage the other side. I don't think he would have been able to. I think, as I say, he was going to be the weaker link in this battle, but he proved to be quite sturdy, and we just could not shift Sicily fast enough. I think we definitely should have gone for Dirt Biker in this battle. Sloveni, again, you're showing that he commanded this battle really well. 705 kills and 125 captures. More kills than he deployed. Whenever you see that, that is impressive. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, you know that the player's done very well with the troops that he's had. And then K-Man, Beastalicious, getting 574 kills, doing very well to resist our horse archer attack on that flank. Just looking at the unit kills, it's going to be Elite first. Mongol horse archers getting 52. That's not too bad, but everything else was under under 40 kills. A bit lackluster in terms of kills. Elite Swedish Landsknecht doing quite well with his bodyguard yet again. His general must be a beast. Well, his general is a beast. If it's Swedish Landsknecht, he is a beast. Light Lancers getting 40 kills, 59 on another Light Lancer. He's got some pretty good kills all over the place. It just wasn't enough. And then my kills, my general's bodyguard, 45, 55 and 91 on a Khan's guard. Very impressive from those guys. but the rest of my troops, I mean, the light lance are getting 82 as well. I think my cavalry was doing really well at the end, but the rest of my infantry did garbage, and my horse archers just weren't performing as well. And my sort of archers were in a bit of a struggling skirmish against Pavy's crossbowmen. They are just too good in the skirmish, and I didn't. What I needed to do in the skirmish was to pin the archers down and then use my light lancers to strike them. Really put some pressure on the exposed Pavy's crossbowmen, because my guys are okay in melee. So if I can get him to waste his ammunition, if my guys waste their ammunition, they're still going to be good in melee. If his guys waste their ammunition, he's going to have a problem, because Pavy's crossbowmen do not have morale. They just don't have any morale, so you can usually break them in a melee fight. But we needed to drive home against his troops as opposed to just sitting there in a skirmish fight. So I could have used my light lancers a bit better there. But as I say, we lost it because we attacked the wrong side. If we would have focused on the Papal States, we could have probably had this battle in hand. So that was the second battle. I hope you enjoyed sort of seeing it from both point of views, and seeing us play these really interesting factions. The Byzantines, at the in the first battle, and the Mongols here. Very interesting. Me, Elite, and Swedes have so much fun when we play the same faction in a battle, because it allows us to know what each other are capable of, and go into a battle knowing each other's strengths and weaknesses, and having a specific plan and then focusing on that plan. Instead of playing 3 sets of 1 versus 1, we can focus our attacks in different positions, and I think that's always fun and always needs to be addressed, because too many times I see 3 versus 3s turn into 3 1 versus 1s, and then the survivors kind of fight it out. It gets a bit weird. I don't understand why you play a team game when you're not going to act as a team. It's certainly the better way to play, and it is very fun to play. Just all having a plan and sticking to it. Very, very fun. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this battle. Thank you all very, very much for watching. It's been a blast, and I hope you all look forward to some more videos in the future. Thank you to my 400 subscribers for taking your time to watching my videos. I really do appreciate you guys. And if you have any questions or any replays, or just any general advice at all, just give me a buzz, and I'll be happy to assist as best I can. So thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you all in the future. Thank you and goodbye. Hello, my name is Catsin Invisible, and welcome to my YouTube channel.